came back this last year.
Nine down to 12.
How many programs have you been to so far?
I
recognize the name.
Yeah,
not every
I appreciate you coming down. Yeah. Well, you know, there's two different types of people. Ones that like to go with free, ones that like to go for the weekend, get away, take a few days to do it, and this one's going to get it done in a day, and then the one's going to do it at home. So we got two options. Let's see here.
And they're like,
okay, ladies and gentlemen, come on back to your seats. Oh, you're there. Okay, I guess it's just me. So you enjoying the day so far? Okay, great. The cookies, enjoying the cookies, that's the important part. Well, you all decimated that chocolate. It's like piranha hit it or something. I'm going, make a piece for me. It's like a piece of foil left back there or something. But yeah, that's great. I can have chocolate after lunch. That's something salty for lunch when I have that piece of chocolate. So, and there's still more cookies back there, so if you like another one, please help yourself to them.
No, there's none left.
Oh, yeah. Well, great. Welcome back. Let me just ask you, just real quick around the room. How many people have been to more than 2 seminars of ours? Just about everybody. How about 3? Sam, I know you need to get that hand up there. You've been coming since 2004, I think, right? How about 5? 5 or more? Well, thank you. I appreciate it. That's great. So, again, hopefully we'll have a few more years of these and be still bringing you high-quality programs for a few more years to come. I don't know. I don't even know what retirement is. I mean, I can't imagine, just sitting at home. So I think I'll just keep speaking. People don't want to hear what I have to say anymore. It's like, nah, it's not worth listening to. But some people never retire, like Sam.
I'm not retired.
He's not retired, that's what I'm saying. 81 years old, still reporting. Amazing. So, folks, what I'm saying, reporting keeps you young. So. Yeah, thanks for bringing back that painful memory.
I always do.
We're talking about the seminar that flooded out because the woman that used to work here got us to promote country club. Remember that?
Yeah, 6 or 8 years ago.
Now I don't know how many of you all were inside when that happened, but yeah, it's raining and raining and raining, and I'm looking at the woman and just saying, "So has this ever happened before?" Oh yeah, boy, that happened a couple of years ago. So exactly how high did that water, which is now starting to come over the bridge, how high did that get? Oh, like 4 feet. I'm like, what? Oh yeah, it came up like within a matter of hours. We were trapped here for like 2 or 3 days. I'm like, oh, get these people out of here!
The sewer's backed up or something.
Yeah, boy, that stream just can't handle it.
Yeah.
And boy, we were pushing cars practically through there at the end. They had all the guys out there up to their knees in water trying to get everybody out, but they found us another hotel and we did it there. Of course, my favorite one was the first one we ever did here that we did at the Sheraton. They had this big bar downstairs in the lobby, and then we did a Friday and Saturday. We did like 3 hours Friday night, then we did all day Saturday. And so we gave a break about halfway through the Friday night session, and about half hour later, everybody comes back kind of sloshed, carrying a couple of cocktails. And they're going, well, this is the stress management seminar. We're not supposed to get that de-stressed. Okay? So then we actually had to put a no drinking clause on the seminars and stuff. Well, we are just so glad that you came back here and are here again. Hopefully we'll see you a couple more times on next year's. So raise your hand if you have stress in your life. Nobody has 2 hands up? Some of you so stressed out you can't even raise your hand. But stress is actually something that we need, right? I mean, I don't know about y'all, stress of a deadline to get a project done, right? How many of you would get those transcripts in if the lawyers just said, whatever. When it works for you. Well, okay, see you next year. And sometimes I think I need the stress of paying my bills just to go to work. Right? I mean, be honest, how many people here, if you hit the big lottery, like $50 million, would be at your desk on Monday. I don't mean just to clean it out. And went right down. See, now I used to laugh at people like that. Because you read about them all the time, they win like $50 million and they keep their day job. Then I thought about it. If I work for some big corporation like IBM, Coca-Cola, somebody like that, hit the lottery, I'd definitely keep my job for a few days. Just to annoy everybody. Yeah, wouldn't it be fun? You know, come cruising to work about 11:30, wear nothing but a Speedo and flip-flops. Yeah, I had a woman say to me, as a matter of fact, it was at one of the court reporter seminars, she said, you know, I wouldn't quit, but I'd find out exactly what it took to get fired. $50 million. You ever get stressed out by somebody trying to pay you a compliment, right? Trying to say something nice to you? Because stress comes from good things too. Like I had a young guy come up after a show one time and say, man, you look like that dude on TV. I said, yeah, I hear it all the time. You know who Foxworthy, Geraldo? He goes, no, the neighbor on The Simpsons. You don't need YouTube. But see, this problem isn't the stress, it's how we react to it. And that's one of the great things about being a human being. We get to decide how we react to something. You can get totally burned out, or you can be stressful. This morning, as you know, my alarm didn't go off. They didn't give me my call for the hotel. I wake up 20 minutes after I'm already supposed to be down here. I'm flying downstairs and, you know, teaching a program on stress. I'm like, out of my way! I'm telling Anita, I'm going, I can't believe it. They didn't give me alarm, my call, and my alarm didn't go off. I woke up, I was ready to go back to sleep for us. It's 7:20, I'm running down here, and she looks at me and goes, well, at least you got a little extra sleep. You're right. It's your perspective, how you look at things, right? I'm not saying you can just blow everything off, you know? But finding the things that stress you out, understanding they stress you out, and that's one of the things we're going to be talking about today, is really discovering your personality type, what types of things stress you out, so you can see them coming. What type of people stress you out? You know, I really don't have to tell you because you're married to them, or they're your kids, or they're your brothers and sisters. You know, opposites attract, right? No? Is that the first time you've ever heard that? That's true. My wife and I totally up. She's A personality, boom! You know, she's got the type of person that Energizer Bunny is going, slow down, take a break. And me, give you an example, we were talking to some people about retirement and what we'd do. I go, well, you know, I think I just take it easier, you know, do this, do that, and finally she goes, and how would that be different from what you're doing now? You're right, I'm like semi-retired. I've always been semi-retired. I've always made sure I enjoyed life somehow. Because I was not put on this earth to make a living. I was put here to create a life. Just like you guys are, right? And how many times do we forget that? Right here it's like, work, I gotta take care of everybody's problems, I gotta work, I gotta make money, I gotta get this, and you know. In the end, you know, it doesn't really matter. That's why I want to start right now. I'm gonna pass around these pads. Just pass these around and everybody just take one sheet off, okay? I'll tell you what, you know what, we have half of it and I'll start it behind you. Here you go. And there you go. Take those, just everybody grab one. Let me do the same thing over here. We just have half that pad and I'll take some of the other rows back there. Thank you. Oh, you don't want him to have one, do you?
Maybe I make a
They're hard, Joe. Hard. Those other people get their own pad. Right? Any left over? Here's some more for you. Okay. So what I would like you to do in your neat handwriting, as so many times that Nita and I are always talking about this, is things that really stresses out. When you think about it, you get to a certain point in your life, you look back and go, what does that matter? And we talk about people that get divorced and stuff, and people are so freaked out and crazy when it happens, and 2 years later you're going, oh my God, I was freaked out about that. I was letting that drive me crazy. Because we don't know how things are going to happen. Right? You ever plan a vacation? It's going to be that perfect vacation. Right? You got everything planned perfect, and you're like, boy, I can't wait to go on that Carnival cruise. And what's happened on those Carnival cruise lines? Flu, dysentery, stomach virus, you know, you name it's happened on those cruises and stuff. But you don't know what's going to happen. So I think there's a lot of times we always look back and said, boy, if I knew then what I knew now. But Sam, do you have things that you stressed out over when you were younger, now you look back and said, yeah,
Transcripts.
everybody, transcripts, right? You know, the one I gave up that vacation to get that stupid transcript out, and then the lawyer tells me they said, you know, stuff like that. So what I want you to do is write down on this piece of paper, just one sentence. What advice would you give now to your 20-year-old self? Like, could I have a larger piece of paper, please? Because this one sentence, what's the most important thing you could say to your 20-year-old self? And go back in a time machine and you say, whatever you do, read that. Don't sign your name to it, just write it on there. Something that just means something to you. And you can't put down, go to less Jeff Justice seminars. When I was talking to Anita before, I said, well, you know, I might put down there, don't marry Cindy, my first wife. You know, because it didn't work out, it was bad. And then I realized, oh my God, the only reason why I met Diane, my wife, is because I was married to Cindy at the time. Isn't that weird? It was just a one chance night meeting, and then 8 years later, did I ever tell you the story? I'll tell you later. A few of you probably have, I'll tell you later on. One of those weird stories. But you know, it's just it. You go, oh, this horrible thing happened in my life. It was the worst thing that ever happened. Wow, I met the love of my life because of that. Right? So, happily married for 27 years now. We've been married for 35. Just kidding. Anybody need any more time? Give you another 10, 15, 20 seconds here. When you feel the pressure. All right, so what I want you to do is just switch your note with the person next to you.
Let them see it.
Yeah. Okay, now without really looking at it, okay? Turn around and switch that note with the person behind you. So switch it with the person behind you. If you can switch it with the person in front of you.
Oh, wait.
Okay, let me have these. Okay. Have these here.
Oh, wait.
We have those there.
I see.
Here you go. Let me have yours. Here you go. Let me have yours. Let me have yours. You have two? Okay, we have those over there. Do you have notes now?
I love your
Okay.
glasses.
There you go. I don't.
Are they prescription or just over the counter? Yeah, over the counter.
Okay, so just, yeah, we have those right there. We'll pass them down, mix them up a little bit.
Something more exciting.
That's-
They are cute. I was looking at
Take one. Here you go.
Bowls and I would go maybe light hint of color.
Well, I don't know. I've seen people orange. And
Okay?
you
Orange.
should. Yeah.
You have yours?
To get
No, I don't want to switch with you guys because these might be the original ones. Okay. And you just get a few of you over here. 6, and we have yours. Everyone left over? Okay. You get that? Here you go. Oh, you're the right one. Ooh, okay. There you go. Anybody not have one now? There you go. Anybody else not have one? One more? Okay, you just pass that down. Can you pass that down, please?
Pass it down all the way.
All right, so in a moment, I'm going to point at you one at a time. And would you please get up and read the note that you would have written to yourself 20 years ago. Read it like you would have written it to yourself, even though it's not your note now, okay? And do it in a nice loud voice so the people at home can hear as well, okay? So right here, stand up, a loud voice.
quit court reporting school or rethink it more thoroughly.
Too late. It seemed like a good idea at the time. Mike, what's yours?
Pick your battles, God first, spouse second, and have a happy life. Stop and smell the roses.
Beautiful sentiment. I should tell that to myself too. Okay. What's yours in a nice loud voice?
Give it up. You don't stand a chance with her.
Give it up. You don't stand a chance with her. Yours. Loud voice?
Make time to enjoy the days instead of always running on empty.
Yes. Because we do push ourselves on empty a lot, don't we? I mean, nonstop. I mean, poor Anita is coming from another program, traveling all night. When she comes to Dallas to work with us, she's out on the West Coast, taking a red eye, getting in at 4 o'clock in the morning to start her program at 8. And I'm going, woman, relax. We'll just be shipping her home in a box. Jim will be opening up in Las Vegas, waking you up, going, okay, get in bed, and then she flies out 2 days later. That's why it's so incredible to be able to get her here for a weekend, because like every time I talk to her, she's flying off to someplace else. So, and here, what are you, like 49 now, right? You're 49 now, right?
70.
70, my God. Sam, I think I found a young chick for you.
That's true.
Hang around, young
Don't
chick.
ask me my weight, because I'll guarantee you I'll lie.
Okay, right here. What was that note from 20 years ago that you would give them from 20 years ago? Stand up, nice loud voice.
Don't change to please someone else.
Exactly. How many times have we done that in our lives? I remember shaving my mustache off when I was 21 to please a girl. And then she looked at me like an idiot because I already did it. So the sad part is it's taken me 40 years to grow. That's the sad part of it, okay? Yeah, right. Changing to please somebody else basically means you're going to be living a lie during that time of your life. That's never fun. What do you got?
Please slow down and not be so rigid in what needs to get done.
Slow down. Don't be so rigid in what needs to get done. Let's hear from one of the guys.
In stressful situations, always take a deep breath and smile.
Yes. And sometimes 10 deep breaths. Sometimes you just really need to stop, breathe. Breathing is one of the best things you can do. It's one of the worst things to stop doing. Don't ever stop breathing. That's a secret to long life. But really stopping, taking 10 breaths, focusing even on something. One person, they did a meditation where they would just look at their thumb. They had nothing else to do, but they try to see how long they could focus on their thumb. Try doing it. You might make it 2 seconds, 3 seconds before your brain starts going, why am I focusing on my thumb? Why don't I look at the other fingers? What's that over there? It's a camera. Well, But eventually that person got to where they could do it longer and longer, and they said they got to the point they would just lift up their hand, look at the thumb, and the body would just go, relax. Okay. How about you? What did you have? Nice loud voice because you're far away from it.
Pick your battles.
Pick your battles. That's a real key one, isn't it? Just pick your battles. I probably am bad at doing that with my kids because I'll get crazy about some stupid little thing, and my wife will be like, "You really need to learn to pick your battles." I'm like, "Don't say that. I teach that. Stop." We teach best what we need most to learn ourselves, right? Ever find that? Okay. What did you have? No, I'm cross-eyed. I'm looking at them. Okay. I'm sorry. That's my old comedy club days. I don't mean to heckle you. I'm sorry.
Do what you want, not what somebody else wants.
Right. Again, living your life for other people. Okay. Get the theme here. She's got a good one. She said, "Okay. Stand up, big voice."
Mary Rich.
Mary.
That's good. That's good.
Unfortunately, that was actually my wife's and my plan for our oldest daughter one time. It was just like, God, I hope she marries well. Because she loves to spend money. She does. She doesn't. I mean, she just wants to spend money, and like getting her off the internet, and she'll be broke, and 3 or 4 packages will come to the house for, and you go, "How are you still buying this?" Well, it was on sale. Oh, why didn't you say that? I wouldn't even ask. Sam, what do you got?
Remain composed in stressful situations. Things will work out.
Getting stressed out, does it ever help? No. I actually, for years and years, have been studying Tai Chi, which is, a lot of people do it just for exercise and things, but it's actually also a very powerful martial arts. And the weird thing about it is you watch these things like judo and karate where people are like real tight and they take and stuff. In Tai Chi, if you stiffen up, you get destroyed. Because the other person just goes around your stiffness, your hardness, and just destroys you. And it's just so bizarre because I grew up with two older brothers where my basic pose growing up was. And in Tai Chi, if you stiffen up like that, it's over with. And if you think about it, when a hurricane comes through, what's left standing? Is it the tall oak trees and stuff like that? They get blown over. It's the bamboo, it's the palms, it's the ones that can bend with the wind, bend with the stress that might not last it. And that's just it, learning to accept that, not taking it personally. When we talked about that before, not taking things personally at lunch, people say the stupidest things to you sometimes. You just can't believe it. I think my example was, you had one about what somebody said about one of the court reporters, and I said, it's like people come up to me and go, when I was working as a comedian, they go, oh, you know who's really funny? Not me. Oh, you know who's a really good court reporter? Why do people tell you that? I mean, it's like there's no connection between their brain and their mouth. Who else? What do you have? What's the advice that you have? A nice loud voice.
Enjoy life, be healthy.
Be healthy. And if you're healthy, you're going to enjoy life more, aren't you? It's interesting, I had a woman who, I don't know if she was in one of the past Itasca programs or one of the Texas ones, and we were talking about exercise, how hard it is to keep on a regime. I'm one of those people, I have all this exercise equipment at home, I never ever use it. I just can't bring myself to do it. I'm the kind of person I have to take classes. I have to have somebody make me do it. So I have to pay money every week or every month and go in there and do it. And we're talking about being healthy. This woman was saying, she says, I had the biggest problem with that. I would join gyms and I'd say, okay, I'm going to work out 3 days a week. I'm going to work out 4 days a week. And that week would come, oh, there's no way I'm going to work out 3 days this week. And she wouldn't do it. And she kept putting it off. She said, finally this last time, I said, I'm going to work out 1 day a week for 30 minutes. She goes, if I can't do that, there's something very wrong with my life. If I can't just work out for 30 minutes, there's something wrong. So she said no matter what she does, every week, no matter how crazy it is, she gets in the gym for 30 minutes. Well, what happens? She usually tries to do that on a Monday. Wednesday cocomes up and goes, I might be able to squeeze in another 30 minutes. She says most weeks she finds herself going 3 days a week now, but she only has to go 1 day. Right? Actually, if you want to cut down, because I wanted to cut down on going to the gym and stuff, and as you get older, the sick part is you have to actually work out more to stay in the same shape you were when you were younger. And I found two things. One of them is super slow burn weightlifting. If there's somebody in your town that does it, it's a 20 to 25 minute exercise where you use their machines, but instead of going like this, it's like real slow and it really builds muscle. And the other thing is kettlebell. You know kettlebell?
Kettlebell?
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the handle on. That,
Good for the stomach.
everything. We have a lot of women in our class, and I've never seen such a fast change in people in my life in a 6 month period. But don't do it unless you want to work, because it's 30 to 45 minutes. It burns 800 calories in 45 minutes. It is brutal. I mean, I tell you, but then you wind up liking it. But you can't do it at home. You got to get an instructor. But if you're pressed for time, and actually, I first read about it. Katherine Heigl, is that the one that used to be on Grey's Anatomy, right? I'm reading some TV guy thing in a doctor's office, and somebody's interviewing, saying, "You always look like you're in great shape and everything. You must really work out a lot." She goes, "No, I just do kettlebell 1 day a week." So I do it for about 35, 40 minutes, and that's all I do. I'm like, I gotta look into that. So if you press for time, that'll do it. But don't plan, especially the first few times you go, don't plan to do anything else after that. I would come out, actually the super slow burn, I would leave that one for like the first 5 months. I go to have a drink with my soda, my hand just be going. Pretty bad, but actually now I'm probably in the best shape I've been in my life at 62, almost 63. So And I wasn't at 50. So at 50, I said, I was falling down, tripping, having all kinds of problems. I said, I'm just getting old. Finally said, wait a second, I think I'm getting old at 50. What's going to happen when I'm 60? So that's my health bit. Boy, don't you feel bad for bringing that up, huh? How about you? What's your advice?
My advice is...
Stand up, loud voice.
Oh, I'm too tired to stand for level monkeys.
It should be exercise and do that kettlebell to give an excuse for being tired.
I'm going to sit here. Don't sweat the small stuff. Enjoy life. Get a college degree. Keep exercising.
It's almost like we were connected there with that person. Yeah. I'm so glad I did get a college degree. Have I ever used it? I don't know. But I'm glad I got it. How about Dina?
I'd like to say something about mine.
Okay, a preamble.
And it says, oh, go to college again. I have a little bit of input here because I went on and got my master's degree while I was a court reporter. And I can tell you I was asked to teach at the college, and I would say, you know what, no, I love my court reporting, and I still make more money court reporting, than teaching at the university, than anything I could do with my master's degree, and I still really love it. So people that are regretting not going to college and getting a degree, you're saying you don't use yours. I still make more money reporting than doing anything with mine, so I want to rethink that 20-year-old thought, I guess. So.
And so, I mean, that's just it.
I
Sometimes
have an interesting job, and you don't realize it until you're away from it, because I got away from it for a little bit and went right back. So, yeah.
You know, it's funny, my mom, we grew up in New York City, and her favorite thing was doing jury duty. She just loved it. I guess maybe the only time she got sequestered away from 5 kids. Might have been the reason. But she just loved it. She just thought that was so fascinating. It was just incredible. She would have been a professional jurist if she got it. Okay. What advice did you get?
Yeah, for sure, yeah.
Think about others before myself.
Yes, that's it. And again, you don't want to do that too much, do you? You don't, because there's people, that's all they do is they take care of everybody else's problems so they don't have to deal with their own. Have you known people like that? Usually moms are like that, and aunts and stuff like that. It's like, I'm going to take care of everybody else's problems, so I don't have to worry about my own. I was talking the other day about a reporter that we had. It was in a seminar of ours. She was sitting in the back at the break. The girl next door, woman next door, comes up and hands me this pen and ink drawing that this woman did of me. It's kind of like a headshot, I guess you would call it. And it was incredible. And I'm an artist too. It's one of my hobbies is art. And this was so much better than anything I could do. So when we came back from the break, I just held it up. I said, so the person that did this, are they a court reporter or an artist? And everybody's going, oh, they're an artist. And she's in the back room going, no, I'm not, no, I'm not good, I'm not worthy, And she, when I talked to her later on, it turned out that she didn't pursue art because she enjoyed doing it. Like work was something you weren't supposed to enjoy. She'd become an art director up in New York, then quit and moved back south because she wanted to take care of everybody else and she was enjoying life too much. And finally, about 6 months later, she wrote me and said, I just want to thank you so much. I'm still court reporting, but I started painting again, and I painted this beautiful painting I love. My niece had passed away last year, and I just really feel that, satisfaction I get from painting again. I might never have picked up that brush. So, I mean, we got to do those things for ourselves, right? How about in the back? What's your advice? A nice loud voice.
Take life less serious.
Lighten up. Yeah, I always say people take life so seriously. I don't know why, so far no one's ever gotten out of it alive. It's not like you're going to be the first, right? And really, just having that attitude of fun, that attitude of play, it makes life so much easier. When we're dead serious about things, I always love that expression, dead serious. But dead serious people, I think terrorists are dead serious people. You think they walk around with a Groucho nose and stuff going, let's move them. Just way too serious. I mean, goofy people don't start wars. We love life too much. We're enjoying things. We enjoy everybody. We want everybody to have a happy time. Could you get that? It could be important. Okay. But again, and it helps with spreading joy to other people. Who else do we have? Did you get to go yet?
No.
No. What do you have?
At the end, everything turns out.
Or not. And I say that for a reason, I do. I have a friend of mine, Harry, who is an atheist, and when that's fine, you know, if you want to be, and he's a very troubled soul, let's say. He's always got the negative side of things in life, and I'm more the optimist. He's the pessimist. And he says to me one day, well, what if we get to the end of our lives and we find out that I'm right, there is no God, there is nothing, this was it, and you're wrong. And I said, well, Harry, who would have had the better ride? I said, damn, I hate you. That's true. I mean, you know, if we get to the end and there is nothing, well, you had a great life. As opposed to, you ever see, you know, people that feel like they have to really be sour to be religious? You know, they can't enjoy life because the pain and the darkness of religion, whatever religion you're in. What'd you have? Yeah.
Oh.
No, you? That's what, okay, both of you.
Oh.
At the same time. Tag team.
Calm down more.
I'm sorry?
Calm down more.
Calm down more. Right? Don't stress out.
Don't become a court reporter.
Don't become a court reporter. Again, the theme that's going on. But she says don't become a master, become a court reporter.
I'm just saying, it's a wonderful profession. It's
It is.
very interesting, and no matter how stressed out you are, you miss it. Believe me.
Well, what I think I would like about court reporting is every day is different.
It is. Always learning.
Yeah. The only problem is, to me, would be having to listen to the negative side of life all the time. You know, people never come in front of you when things are going great. You know, it's like my wife and I here, we've been married for 27 years. It's been a fantastic time, and we just wanted a court reporter to take down the love that we have for each other. It'd be great to do that. There's a service of court reporters that could start. Hey, let me do a transcription of your love for each other. Each other on Valentine's Day. It'd be great. How about you? What do you have?
Me?
Yes?
It always works out.
It always does, or not. It always works out. I've had, believe me, many things in my life that I tried that didn't work out, but you know, a lot of them don't make any difference right now. No, like I'll tell you the story of my ex-wife. I got married right after college, 2 weeks after college, because I figured, hey, I've already experienced everything that life has to offer. What a dork. So we got married, we moved to Atlanta, and about a week later I'm combing my hair, and there's a patch about that big, the hair's just gone. No? I'm going, wow, this has been a really wild bachelor party, right? And about a week later, it was about that big. And by the end of the month, about the size of a silver dollar. And I started parting my hair that way, then another one started coming on this side, another one back here, and it was starting to look like alien crop circles, right? I'm running out of ways I can part my hair, right? And I tried everything. I tried cortisone shots, tar soaps, all these different things to make it go away. Nothing worked. 3 years later, I got divorced. We're back. I'm not saying that's a solution for all guys, but it's amazing how that can happen in your body. But when I thought, when I got married, I got divorced, I thought that was the worst thing that could happen. Well, while I was married to Cindy, she was a singer, and she was in an all-girls group. And there's a woman, Diane, in Atlanta that was a songwriter. Matter of fact, she's got a couple of songs, and Debbie Boone, she Light Up My Life album, and had her own album career. Well, they invited her down to listen to them do some of her songs at this really sleazy cowboy bar in Atlanta. Well, I'm there with my wife, Cindy. At the time, I'm an amateur magician, and I will bore anybody to death that would sit there alone, okay? So they sit her and her boyfriend of 6 years, Steve, with my wife and I. And we start talking, and I start doing some magic tricks. But Diane is like the first person to ever believe it. Right? I'd make a coin vanish, and she'd go, oh my God, where did it go? Or I'd find a card and 6 of spades. Oh my God, you're reading my mind. So we start talking at the table. What turns out that Diane and I both have the same birthday. And my wife Cindy and her boyfriend Steve have the same birthday. Now, what's the chances of 4 people at one table sharing 2 birthdays? Long story short, we get divorced. 8 years later, on my birthday, I'm performing at the punchline. Now I'm supposed to be the feature act finally, the guy that goes in the middle. No longer do I have to do the stupid announcements. I'm almost a star, not quite the star, but I'm the middle star, okay? A little star. I get to the club that night, and the owner says, the MC's not here, you gotta go on first and do the warm-up and the announcements. I'm like, right, happy birthday, Jeff. Yes. So they give me this note saying, please announce it's Diane Pfeiffer's birthday. I go, that's gotta be the same woman. That's a very strange name, right? So her part of the story of this is she just broke up with this guy who did not come to see her on her birthday, and she said, that's it, I never want to see another guy again. And the girlfriend goes to the house, she goes, I just want to stay home and be alone. She goes, no, you're going out. I'm taking you to a comedy club. She goes, I've never been to a comedy club before. She goes, get dressed, I'm going to drag you out there. She's the one that sends up the note. So I said, I go out on stage, and here's like these two women sitting up front. There's a brunette and a blonde. I'm thinking, boy, I bet that blonde might be her. But last time I saw her, she was like this hippie chick. She's like 21, 22, hippie chick, right? And now she's a woman. She's a adult woman in her 30s. So I said, well, back then I did magic comedy in my act. I said, well, I'll know right off the bat. Because the first thing I do in my act is at the end of the first bit, I take this lit cigarette, put it in my hand, open my hands, and it's vanished. So sure enough, I get to the end, I put the cigarette in there, open up, gone. And out loud in front of everybody, she goes, oh my God, where did it go? I look at her and said, your name's Diane, isn't it? She goes, oh my God, he's reading my mind. So we started talking after the show. It turned out she did remember who I was that night and everything. We started dating long distance for like 4 years. I lived in New York, she lived down here. And eventually I said, forget New York, I'm going to forget my comedy career, I'm going to move down to Atlanta, do what I can. Well, my comedy career was never better, because when I moved to Atlanta, I got all the TV shows in Atlanta because I was like one of the bigger names there now, as opposed to being this little fish in New York. And of course, got two wonderful girls and everything. But the reason why I tell the story is my kids give me a hard time for not being a good student. Matter of fact, I couldn't go to college in New York because I didn't have a Regents diploma. I had to go to Miami-Dade Junior College in Florida, right? But in Florida, they have a rule: if you graduate from junior college, the four-year school has to let you in. And they have to let you stay there as long as you keep at least a C+ average, which I was able to kill, C+. But that's why I met Cindy, because I had to go to Florida, and Cindy, because I met Diane. So they give me a hard time. I go, well, Dad, you weren't a good student, I have much better grades than you. I said, yeah, honey, but if I was a little smarter, you wouldn't be here today. You just never know, do you? How about anybody else? How about over here in the corner?
Work less and enjoy life more.
Work less, enjoy life more. Do you find ourselves killing ourselves sometimes? Not enjoying life? I'm one of those people. How many people here have hobbies? I'm not going to ask you what they are. Because, look at that. Hardly anybody. Maybe not even half the room. Sam? Now we remembered he had one. Okay. Oh yeah, hobbies. Fun things that you do. Things that you do just for yourself. I don't care if it's for just reading a book. One of my wife's favorite things to do is, do you have IKEA up here?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
A lot of the furniture in our house is IKEA. Or as my sister from Eastchester, New York says, oh, IKEA. Isn't that a Swedish word for crap?
Yeah.
Furniture, we like it. But my wife's favorite thing is just to walk through IKEA. She'll go downstairs, they got a frozen yogurt for $1. She loves the smell of the wood and the cinnamon and everything. Then she just walks, doesn't have to buy anything. Just walks through and just feels great. Yes?
You have a gorgeous house, and the walls are painted the most amazing colors. And when you walk into his house, you are absolutely transformed. So don't take that word IKEA in too small of a vision.
Just the couches and the chairs, that's all. Everything else is
No,
walls.
it really is a magnificent home.
It is magnificent.
Great
It's not fun.
kitchen, everything.
We call it Zen, Miami Zen. They did all the walls in like yellow and blues, and it was pink for walls, so at least I got that out of there and something else. But it's like one of those houses you walk in and go, wow, I'm relaxed. But, where was I? Oh yes, I was over here. But we're talking about,
Ask them to read back.
Could you read back, please? Hi. I am Anita, the official court reporter, and I'm reading that. What are some great tips that she gave us? Okay, well, that must not have been very important. Okay, a couple more here. How about yours?
Do not stress about things I have no control over or no ability to change.
And know the difference, right? There are things that you just can't change. Just let them go. Interesting story about that. My oldest brother wasn't the way I wanted him to be. You have people in your life like that? No, they just don't act the way they should. Because I know how people should act, and they're just not doing what I think is good for them. And he wasn't a real touchy-feely, kind of family-oriented guy, very regimented, very ritualistic in everything that he did in his life, and just, we want him to be like us. And that's where a lot of our tension came from. And when I finally let it go, I said, why do I have any right to tell him how to be, to want him to be any way different than how he is? He completely changed. Now I get like little videos of kittens fighting and playing and stuff, and these cards and sweet cards and stuff. And my other brothers and sisters are looking at each other and we're going, who is this? Who took over Jim's body? But now he says his fun, much more loving, and exactly the way I would have said, hey, great, now you're like the rest of the human race. Yeah. But it's so funny that the change never happened until I let go. When it no longer mattered to me, it was like, and it's not like I went up to him and said, okay, it's okay for you to be the way that you are. I'm giving you permission. It's more like me just letting go of the whole thing, and it's just amazing how it works out. How about you? What advice did you have?
Have more patience.
That's a great one, isn't it? Have more patience. Can't we all use that? A little bit more? Does anybody have one they'd like to read they didn't get a chance to read? Okay.
Know yourself and be proud.
That's who you are.
That's not mine, but it's great.
But that's what I'm saying. That's a great one, because that's who you are. Be proud of yourself. Be happy with yourself. Because there's nobody else like you. Okay? Don't let people try to change you. Be happy in your own skin. Anybody else have one they really wanted to read, didn't get a chance to? Okay, well, did you find that a worthy exercise of actually stopping for a second and what would I have told myself? Well, a lot of those things you can tell yourself now. You can start over from this date. You may not go back to college, you may not, it's too late to have never done court reporting. But there's so many things that people have down there, taking yourself lightly, having more time for yourself, realizing things you can change. Take that advice now. Okay, I think there's a lot of great advice that all of us could use there, and a lot of times just stop and identify. All right, so great, give yourselves a big round of applause. One of my favorite exercises about stress, everybody stand up and partner up with somebody about your height. Unless you're just really taller than everybody in the room, find somebody close to you.
About your height.
Or shorter than everybody else in the room. Okay, at this point, if you do not have a partner, raise your right hand. Now, if you don't like your partner, if you don't have okay, here's somebody over here that doesn't have a partner, okay? Come on over here. Wait, there's somebody right behind you. Oh, okay, yeah, right over here. Over here. Anybody else not have a partner?
Stand up straight.
I think she's... Okay, well, here, you come on over, join me. All right, do me a favor, quickly between yourselves decide who's going to be A and who's going to be B.
I'm A. I'm B.
All right, now if you want to know something about personality types, the type A personality, just told the other person what they're going to be. It's like, I'm A, I don't care who you are, I'm A. Okay, so face your partner. I take your right hand, I place it flat against your partner's outstretched right hand. Now for the guys in the room, I promise this is the only touchy-feely thing we'll make you do, okay? All right, when I say go without throwing your partner to the ground, I want A to push against B. Go.
Wait, you're A?
I'm A. Thank your partner, shake hands. Go ahead and take your seats. Thank you. just going, what the heck was that all about?
Yeah.
Just killing some time, that's all. Didn't have the whole 3 hours. All right, let me ask you, A, when you pushed against B, what did B do? Resisted. Push back. B, you push back, what did A do? Push even harder. A, you pushed harder, B pushed even harder still. Now, I know you've seen that happen in the real world, the one you work with every day. You know, how many people would not be in front of you to get those egos out of the way and they'd stop pushing and just relax, right? And I saw something happen in a few places here. Is A pushed against B? B didn't resist. Just let their hands go back. What happened? A stopped pushing, right? You know, it's no fun, you know. Whoa. Now, I'm not saying be a wimp, but by using your sense of humor, and especially humor directed at yourself, not at the other person, you can stop so many things from escalating beyond control. A lot of times it's just well-placed humor. The problem is our ego gets in the way. That's when we get defensive. That's when we're ready for a fight. That's when things escalate. As opposed to when things go the other way. When somebody uses their sense of humor, does something unexpected. Remember, I was down in Jamaica one time, and I'm backing up the car. And I was working at my magic shop down there, and I mean, I tapped this guy's bumper. I mean, but like that. And I go to pull forward. Well, him and his friends come out, and they're going nuts. Look what you did to my car, man! And they're yelling and screaming at me and wanting money out of me. All I remember is that I have some magic tricks in my pocket. So I said, wait, let me get rid of this. Wait, what's that? And I take this handkerchief and I put it in my hand and go, oh, it's nothing. Okay. And I start, what? What's it? And I start pulling coins out from behind their ears and stuff. Like, there's this key bending trick on them, and at the end they go, man, you're cool, man, yeah, go on. Like, but what would have happened if I'd come out and gone, I didn't scratch that. What are you kidding? What are you trying to whip me off? I would probably get beat up, okay? You know? Using your sense of humor, okay? You don't have to learn magic, but, you know, just, you know, don't give that person the wall to bounce their anger off of and to get crazy over. Just, you got to absorb it. I was talking to this one woman who worked for a hotel late at night. She says, I get all the crazies come down here at night. I said, what do you do? She goes, I just treat them like they just left a mental institution. I said, how does that work? She says, well, you know, if somebody was crazy, if they just left a mental institution, you wouldn't want to get them all excited. You know, you want to calm them down. So they'll come down here, they're yelling and screaming on us like, oh, I'm sorry. Oh, that's so bad. Oh, I'm going to have somebody take care. Oh, I can understand that. Oh, that's just no excuse for that. And the people would run out of steam. And then eventually, not only would they wind up apologizing to her, but they would tell her manager what a great job she did. So I use that all the time. I'm in traffic. It used to be when I got into traffic, somebody cut me off, my ego would get in the way. Cut me off. I'll show you. Now I'm just like, man, you must be late to get back to the mental institution. You know, just go on. You ever know people that can't let go of anger? Like my buddy Robert, he got a ticket in Atlanta 10 years ago he thought he didn't deserve. To this day, we'll be driving by there, and he's like, that's it. That's where it happened. Hey, Robert, now let it go. Yeah, one of the keys, too, is don't sit around waiting for somebody else to make you happy in life. It's not coming from anywhere except inside here. I used to love it. When I started doing stand-up comedy, I was 31. I was like a granddad. You know, the other comedians would call me Mr. Justice. I'm like, well, you're only like 10, 11 years younger than I am, you know? But I was old for starting. But I worked all these different jobs, and you know, these comedians would always look at me, these young guys, and go, how come you always smile, man? What are you always so happy about? Because I get to do this for a living, you idiot, you know? You know, you haven't had any bad jobs and stuff. I've had some crap jobs, and I got to tell you, this is a great job going around the country making people laugh. He goes, oh, they go, well, I'll be happy when I get, like at that time, it'd be like, when I get on Johnny Carson. Yeah, that's when I'll be happy. And that was their goal. That's their happiness goal. And I said, you know, if you're not happy with who you are now, you're never going to be happy when you get to where it is that you think you're going, because you're still going to be the same person inside. And they just let me go. They just had no idea. Because there is no, when happiness has to come from outside you, there's no stop to it. Because for comedians, you get when you got to Johnny Carson, it's like, yeah, that's it, man, I am great. I was on Johnny Carson, and just as you're feeling great, comedian comes up next and goes, well, did you get asked back yet? What do you mean, did I get asked back? Well, yeah, you really haven't made it till you get asked back. Do a second shot. Anybody can get on for one, but getting that second one. Oh, man. You get on for the second time. It's, yes, I did it. I was on twice. I'm a star. And somebody comes up and goes, well, did he ask you over to the couch? What do you mean? Oh, yeah, if he doesn't ask you to come over to the couch, you haven't already made it. Ah, man. You work years and finally Johnny invites you over to the couch. I made it. Somebody goes, well, did he ever ask you to guest host? Says, you really haven't. There is no end to it. Guest host, your own show. And same thing with material goods, right? Have you ever met somebody that just said, I finally have enough? People that really like material things, they just go, yeah, I got enough. I can't imagine my daughter going, I got enough clothes. Yeah, Dad, I think I've reached my limit. I mean, this is 2 giant boxes of shoes, and she says, I don't have that many shoes. Are you insane? Okay. So we know from material stuff, there is no limit to it. There's no place that you get to where you go, that's it. People go, what if I win the lottery? That'd be great if I won the lottery. If money brought people happiness, wouldn't the Kennedys be like the happiest family in the country? And they're like one of the most miserable families in the country. Have you ever seen, people that are less happy? And they really don't have any documented cases of somebody winning a big lottery and the life being better. It almost goes down the toilet every time. Did you know if you win a big lottery, like $100, $200 million, banks will not give you a mortgage on a house? Because the evidence shows it's either 3 years or 5 years, you'll be broke. All of it gone, no matter how much they give you. $200 million, you'll be broke. And it really brings a lot of people sadness. One guy won the lottery up in Boston. And he went over to his ex-girlfriend's house who just left him, wanted to rub it in her nose. Like, hey, I won $40 million. Feel sorry now, don't you? Well, her mother's there, and they start having a fight. The mother pulls out a gun. They start fighting over the gun. He accidentally shoots the mother, goes to jail for life. His 17-year-old son is in school, and the kids are giving him a hard time about his dad going to jail and stuff, and he just flips out, punches a guy in the face. The guy falls back, hits his head on one of the benches in the gym, breaks his neck and dies. The son goes to jail for life. Money doesn't bring happiness. Can it help a little? Yes. Yeah. Can make things a little easier. But I remember somebody once saying that money should be like shoes. Not enough money, they're too tight, not uncomfortable. Too much money, they're too loose, you can't walk on them, just right. And that's it. I just try to maintain, I don't make money my goal in life, I make happiness my goal in life. My wife and I travel all the time, right? And we find deals. People go, well, I can't afford to travel. You ever listen to Clark Howard? Write that down, Clark, C-L-A-R-K, Howard.com. He's on there. My wife just calls me up yesterday. You're not going to believe it. $359 to Copenhagen, round trip. Is that unbelievable? It was out of New York, but I would have used my frequent flyer miles to get there if we could have flown at that time. We've gone to Paris for $258 round trip. One night sales, stuff like that. Just finding, but we make that a priority. It's what we love to do, and we really pursue travel. If you want to go on cruise ships and stuff, go before June 1st. It's thousands of dollars more after June 1st than it is in May, because all you Northerners, your kids get out of school in June. Well, in the South, our kids get out in May. They start in August, but they get out in May, so we took advantage of cruise ships all the time. And I mean, 4 of us going to Alaska, 10-day cruise, I think it was $3,000. Unbelievable. And usually it's like $10,000 for one person. So, I mean, what your priorities are, figure out what they are, what you like to do to have fun, and make it a goal. And you will find that stuff happen. My daughter used to do dream boards and stuff, which really sounds stupid, and I'd gotten her this DVD one time called The Secret. And one of the people talks about that. If you want something, put a vision board up there with the pictures and stuff. So she's like 10 years old. She wants an iPod Nano when they first came out. What were they, like $200? I said, you gotta be insane if you think I'm buying a 10-year-old kid a $200 toy to take with them that they don't need. I really want one, I understand you really want one. Well, Jenica's got an iPhone, and another, well, or she had an iPod at the time. So it turned out that she made her vision board. She had everything about iPod Nanos on there. She had the one that she wanted in the center, just that color and everything. She'd go up there and look at it every day. That's what I said to do on the DVD. Go up and just look at it and imagine yourself having that iPod and stuff. And I had to look at it and go, that is so sad. It really is, because Christmas morning she's in for a big disappointment. You know, it isn't going to happen. You know, there's no one to spend that money. But I was up for a new iPod, and my oldest daughter had broken hers, of course, and we were taking it in and getting a new one for that. And I go into the store, and I order the two of them. He says, well, you know, we're having a sale. Ready? What's the sale? He says, well, you buy two of these, you get a Nano for free. Oh my God, that child's evil. Some connection, and she got her iPod. And you know, when she opened it, it wasn't like, oh my God, I got it. It was like, yeah, okay, there it is. Why shouldn't I have that? I did everything that they said. Of course I would get it, okay? So really fixing in your mind what you really do want. Knowing what you want is half a life, isn't it? Yeah, really just sitting down with yourself sometime going, what do I really want out of life? Well, you know, I would like the freedom when I turn 65, that if I want to travel, I can travel. To not have to feel like I really have to work for a living, and to have something that can still bring me an income. And I wound up discovering the online course. That's been a life changer in our future retirement plans. Right? But it didn't happen until I said, what type of retirement do I want? Because up until that point I was going, well, I'll just sell stocks till I run out of money. Thank God I got a financial planner, okay? If you don't have one, get one, because I gotta tell you, if you're not one, you have no idea what you're doing. Right? I had no idea what I was doing, and I worked with this guy, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm not gonna have to worry about anything from what you did, and I was really worried before I came to see you. So, let's see. So stop getting annoyed, get funny. You don't have to do this right now, but when you get home, just make a fun list. And a fun list is just things that you enjoy doing, especially things you haven't done for a while. Now, one of the things I enjoy doing, I enjoy going to a shooting range at my house. Just target practice. I'm not a hunter, I don't do that, but I like getting better at things. You know, I like winning contests. I'm very competitive like that. So I just taught myself to shoot, and I'd go down there. So I've got a membership at the club by our house. And when I had the membership, I'd go every week, every 2 weeks. And now I don't have the membership, and I haven't been in like 4 months. And I'm going, why haven't I been in 4 months? I really enjoy doing that. I need to get back there and do this. That's going on my fun list. Go shoot some crap. Shoot holes and stuff. That's what I want to do. I want to go shoot some stuff, you know, as we'd say down south.
Yeah.
So, really, I mean, you probably all can think of it. And it may just be, I would like to have a half hour to sit by myself and read a book and nobody bother me. I feel like that sometimes at breakfast. I hope my wife never sees this video, but she's one of these people, she's up at 3:30, 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, and she says, bing, 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 nobody to talk to. And the girls are talking. And I wake up at 8:15, 8:30, I haven't had my coffee yet, and she has somebody to talk to. And I'm like trying to eat my breakfast or read something, and it's just like nonstop, and I know it's going to last for about 20, 25 minutes. So finally she goes into her office and gets involved in doing something, and I just have to sit there and go, yes, okay. And I don't want it to stop, because that means she wouldn't be there anymore, but that's like, okay, this too shall pass. Sorry, honey, if you ever see this, okay, but you might want to know that. Okay. So, again, one of the main things is us really knowing ourselves. So how are we supposed to know what stresses us out if we don't know what our stresses are? I have the answer for you. I'm going to pass out these. Has anybody ever heard of DISC, personality test? Well, good. This usually is something that costs a ton of money to take and to find out about yourself. A friend of mine wrote one of the books on it, and he designed this test just for me. He also helped me write my book, Laugh More, Stress Less, and Avoid Getting Burned Out. And Chris designed this for me, for people to be able to discover what their stressors are. So don't do anything to this until I get your instructions. We have 6 people or 7?
7.
Okay. Do you need any more over here? Do we have any extras? We do just pass them to the back rows. Yeah, Kevin. Yeah, just pass them to the back row here. You have 2 there? Yeah, oh yeah, there's a couple more. All right, so everybody's going to need a pen for this. Okay, great. Anybody not have one? Okay, extra, thank you. Any more extra? Okay, good. So you folks at home, you're going to get 2 of these to print out. That's going to be the first sheet right there, which is the personality style summary, and you'll get this sheet separately, okay? So just so you know what we're doing right there, okay? Don't skim. Okay. All right, so you can take your time doing this, okay? Not something you have to rush through. You're going to mark these boxes. So the boxes go from left to right. There's 16 different sections to this. All right, what you want to do is you want to mark these from most like you to least like you. So if something, you're going to use numbers 4, 3, 2, and 1. So if you put it like, this first one says bold, kind, bold, modest, and charming. So of course, I'm charming. That's what I'm most like. They pick something else? Okay. And you can't ask the person next to you, okay? This is for you to do. So let's say, I think I'm charming's my most. So I'm going to put 4 in charming, and kind, yeah, 3 kind. I'm pretty kind. But it's between charming, well, okay, maybe I'm a little more charming than I'm kind, whatever. Modest, 1. Least of these is modest, and 2 is bold. If you are none of these, you still do it. I'm none of these, but out of all these 4, this is the one I'm most none of, or this is the one that I'm least none of, or if I was going to be any of them, it would be this one, even though I'm none of these. So when you're finished, every one of these lines across should have a 4, a 3, a 2, or 1 in the boxes. Okay? Does that make sense? And there's 16 lines, so this whole every single box that's on this page should have a number on it. You cannot use the same number on the same line. So up here in 1, kind can't be 2 and bold can't be 2. You have to use the numbers 4, 3, 2, and 1 on each line. It's like Sudoku. Sudoku. We have any Sudoku players here? Yeah, well, my wife loves that. And you know, it's funny, my brain looks at it and goes, you gotta be kidding me. We have any jumble word people? Like I sit there and I do jumbles, and it'll take me like the Sunday jumble would take me, the 6 other ones, take me anywhere from 2 minutes to 15 minutes. My wife picks them up and reads them. I just read them. You do that too? Yeah. And I'm like, she'll go, well, which one did you miss? I don't want to tell you because I feel like an idiot. And it's just like, how come we can't make money with you doing that? There should be like a jumble show to make money. Anybody have any questions? Okay, so like it should probably take somewhere between 5 and 10 minutes. You got to press hard so you go all the way through to the bottom, because there's a carbon underneath and it's got to be making the marks on there. Now you tell me, Jeff. Thanks a lot. You ruined my day. You could have told me that a minute ago. Sorry. Done, you win.
Going like that?
So when you are finished, go ahead and put your pen down so I can just look around and tell that you're done. Of course, a few of you are going to have to check it and recheck it 2 or 3 times. Sure. And that will be defined in your personality type. My sister-in-law would teach us that she would talk about the difference between her and her husband. It's like they'd go on an airline trip and she'd look at her ticket. I'm in 15A. That's it. Go take the flight, get in her seat and everything. And her husband would be checking the ticket. Okay, 15A, okay. Get on the plane. Okay, where are we? 15A and then 15. Yeah. Oh, here's our seat, 15A. And I'd look at him and she'd be laughing. Can you believe he does that? I'm thinking, that's me. That's what I'd be doing. I'm like, okay, which one am I? Step right. Different personality types. Okay. Just about everybody? Another minute or so to finish up. Okay, so now I'm sorry to tell you there's not quite math, but there's going to okay. So you see on the yellow sheet behind, if you lift up the white sheet now, you'll see that you put a number in the different boxes, and those boxes, seem like that, have a letter corresponding to them, either the D, I, S, or C. So this part here gets a little confusing, so let me explain it to you so you'll get it right. What you want to do is go through and add up all of the S's. So your S has a 4 in it, so that would be, this S has a 4 in it, down here the S might have a 2 in it, down here the S might have a 1 in it, right? So you want to add up the number that's in the box for all your S's, do the same thing for the I, the S, and the C. So what we're saying is that now you're going to work with the yellow sheet, okay? Each one of the boxes on the yellow sheet has the number that you wrote in it, the 1, 2, 3, or 4, and you're going to add up the numbers for each one of the letters. So all the S boxes, see what numbers in all those and add them up. There's going to be a 1, 2, 3, or 4 in each one of the S's. Add those up. So at the end, you're going to come up with 4 totals. Does that make sense? Is that confusing to anybody?
I'm confused, I'm sorry.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So when you look at here, so you have numbers in all these different boxes, right?
Correct.
So starting with the S here, you've got a 4 here. In this one, you have a 3 there, so that's 7. Another 3 is 10.
And all the numbers for the same letter?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then do that for each one of the 4 letters.
You put them here?
Yeah, you can, does that go up there now? Yes, exactly. Up in the top right-hand part, see it says score box, how many Ds, points for Ds, how many 1 point, 5 points C, and S. Everybody here okay? So take your time doing this. It takes a while, and I'd rather you get it right the first time than before you have to go back to it again while we're talking about what it all means. So. Instructions what to do. Okay, go ahead, sit down.
I barely fill out the numbers.
Yeah. So, you did the second part here? Right, so now what you want to do is go through and add up all the numbers that you have in your S boxes. The 3 there, and you have 2 and then the 1. So you add up all that total you put up here for D, S with the here, D, here, I, and C. So when you're finished, you've got the total of all the different letters. Does that make sense? So let's just start with D. So, you have add it up, put it there, it's going to be one of the 4, just do that part so far. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so you don't want to even look at the white sheet part anymore, you're just interested in the yellow part. 2 seminars. So once you have your 4 totals, add those 4 numbers together, they have to equal 160. You need to go check your answers. Take your time with it.
They have to equal up.
160.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see.
Did you get your 160? The sad part, it took me 3 times to get it right the first time I did it. I'm going, how can I still be missing a number? This thing's wrong. They messed up somehow. Oh, there it is.
Bless you.
You look confused.
Well, you know what I found very confusing is I see such great inconsistency with my own answers. Okay. Like every time I'm like, how can that possibly be? Because I had the other 1 before, and now I got it as 4%.
You know, but it's that row. See, you forget each row is different from all the other rows, because you might have put Karen up here as a 4, but when it's down here, Karen is like the least, the most of those. So it just depends on words that it's with. Yeah. Greater minds than ours figured out these tests. Matter of fact, Anita's now studying to become a certified DISC provider. So she'll like already know ins and outs. That's why she's taking it in the back, because this one was designed just for what causes you stress.
Hey, I got 160.
So again, once you do get 160, put your pen down and I'll know you're there.
I can't believe it.
How many people are going through it for the 2nd or 3rd time?
That's crazy.
So if it's not adding up, the only 2 possibilities is on one of the lines you use the same number twice, or you're just missing a number when you count it.
I didn't know there was math required.
Didn't know there was going to be math today, Jim. Nobody mentioned math.
Now what are we doing with this?
All right.
Waiting for everyone. You gotta graph it?
Waiting for everyone. You have to make sure that adds up to 160.
It does.
I was taking a different seminar if I knew there was going to be math.
Oh, wait,
Instructions.
I don't want to do it wrong.
I did my numbers to come out right the first time. I didn't
Because
add
that could
correctly.
happen very easily.
Oh, is it?
I'm shocked.
So I
You know what I
skipped one.
did?
I skipped one. Oh, you did.
I didn't even know that they could help you.
I had 16 each time.
Why don't you get the herd crowd?
Numbers because
Oh, no, just in my final edition, I didn't have, I had just one number, 4, 3, 2, 1 in each row. I knew that. But when adding it, I skipped. I don't know.
Right, so when I listed them, I counted them, did I get 16, you know, 16 questions?
Oh, okay.
At least to feel like I did, I missed a question. But I'm no math person. I completely, the worst one of them will either. I'm always like asking my husband or my sister to help my son.
Yes? Sure.
I hope that's what it means.
Okay, so just figure that if you've done it 2 or 3 times, it hasn't worked out, now you're at the point you're obsessing about it, so let's move on. I'm gonna get this! I'm gonna get this! All right, so now comes the fun part. As he's already guessed here, On the bottom right part, right down here, it says disk, and there's a little box there. So under the D, take your pen and make a circle closest to the number that you have. So like, let's say your D is 26. Well, there is no 26, so just put it where 26 would probably be between the 24 and the 30. Does that make sense? And do that for each one of your numbers. So when you're finished, you should have 4 different dots, and then just connect the 4 dots with straight lines, just like the graph above does it.
Connect the dots. Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Excellent. Now we'll find out what it means.
We should all been.
Yeah, so do your lines just like this. So connect 1 to 2, 2 to 3.
I have no idea.
So if you did this right, this graph should look like whatever it's supposed to look like. There is no right or wrong.
Okay then.
There is no, all you want to make sure is that you're connecting the D dot to the I dot to the S, and the S to the C. You don't want to go across and come back again and make a loop.
I want to know what everything is.
Is everybody ready to find out what it means?
Yeah.
You want to take a stretch for a second? Might be here for a while.
That's right.
It means what it means.
Okay. Everybody ready?
I think we all do.
Oh, wait, Sam? All right, good. A couple more minutes. It's wound up taking a lot longer doing that part than you think it's going to. You think it's going to take, oh, it's going to take me like 10 minutes, and then half hour later, you're like, one more. You know, it's interesting, my sister-in-law used to do these tests too. And it's amazing how we perceive ourselves. Because I took the test, I'm marking the boxes, and one of them was, and it wasn't this one here, but one of them was, I don't know if it was adventurous or bold or daring or something like that. And I put that as my lowest one. And my wife looked at me and goes, "You put that as your lowest on that?" I said, "Well, yeah, I'm not an adventurous, I'm not a daring person." She goes, "What are you talking about?" I said, daring people, they're the ones that climb mountains and, jump out of airplanes and stuff like that. What do? I speak. She goes, "You'll go up and speak in front of 2,000 or 3,000 people." She goes, "How many people do you think would just freak out doing that?" I go, "But it's just what I do, It's like your job. My God, if I had to listen to somebody and take down what they said and get it right, and their life or death depended on that or the trial, I'd be like, oh. I go, oh my God, how can you do that? That's just like unbelievable. It's amazing to me. I'm actually doing these seminars because I had a court reporter years ago, back in the early 90s, who took my comedy class, and when he found out I did programs on humor and stress for corporations, he was saying, could use that in court reporters. And I said, well, how would I make any money? Well, they got to get continuing education credit. So I called up the state association in Georgia, told them about the 1-hour concurrent session that I developed for them, and told them what I would charge. And they go, oh, we can't afford that. I said, all right, why don't we just do this? You got a large convention. Why don't you just pay me $25 for each person that comes to my program? Then you don't have to pay me for the people that don't. They go, that's a great idea. They went up paying me $500 more than I asked for. Everybody and at the convention came to my program. It was standing room only. It was just packed to the walls because the court reporters all had stress and wanted to know how to deal with it. And that was the beginning going, gee, I wonder if there's court reporters in other states. Nah. Actually, I think Illinois is the second place that we ever came to. And we've made some mistakes. We've gone to Kansas City on Mother's Day weekend to 25 people. Gone to a sleazy place in Orlando where one of the people got mugged to go in his hotel room, So we learned our lesson over the years. Made a lot of mistakes, but always came out somehow. All right, you ready to learn what this all means? Okay, so D-I-S-C. So D is for dominance.
For what?
Dominance. Okay, how you respond to problems and challenges. All right? Don't you wish you were a pencil writer now, huh? And if you like to, I can just email this to you this week. I probably won't be able to get to it tonight or tomorrow night, but I have a lot of this stuff on my computer, and I can just email it to you if you want to just sit there and just relax and listen instead of stressing yourselves out again. I is for influence. Influence, how you influence others to your point of view. That's an important skill to have, isn't it? S is for steadiness. Steadiness. How you proceed within the pace of your environment. And C is for compliance.
Oh, wow.
This is a big one for court reporters. How you abide by the rules and procedures established by others. How many people here, the highest number was a C? Well, the highest letter was a C. See, it's different. There's no one thing that's right for every profession. This is just an individual thing for you. All right, so dominance, D. And you actually can, if you notice in your book, there's actually a poster like this. Well, you know what, let me get to this later on. I'm going to talk about this part first. Bye, Anita. Everybody say goodbye, Anita. We love you. We'll see you next time. Happy trails. Tell Jim I said hi.
Thank you, you as well.
All right, so I'm going to go through this rather quickly. Like I say, if you like, I will just do a mass email. Everybody send them the PDFs for this. All right, so D. There are both areas of strength and struggle associated with any of the four types. Okay, there is no best type to be. Everybody is a combination of all four of these. There's no anybody that's just a D. You couldn't be around them. They're just, I'm just dominant. I mean, it'd be like a horrible person. Okay, the type D type, and you know who you are. Responsible, inquiring, adventurous, decisive, competing, assertive, intent, insistent, headstrong, trailblazing, enterprising, bold, daring, striving, mobilizing, individualistic, self-centered, egocentric, challenging, and oppressive. Good and bad everything, isn't there? Now, would you like to know the type of people, Ds, who drive you crazy? The people who are irresponsible, undecisive, submissive, passive, introvert, and apathetic. Those people kind of drive you nuts a little bit. Okay, so a mental image that might help you remember these characteristics is D-type personality. Think of an oven mitt, because that reminds you that you really like to get things hot, get things cooking. Sometimes you can be too hot to handle. You won't get burned if you learn the right way to handle this style. Most times you will find them comfortable to deal with, but sometimes you will need protection from somebody who's a D. So caution for D-types. When you turn up the heat on a project, things get cooking. But when you turn the heat up on people, they get burned. I understand the D-type lives in the heat, and they do not understand the difficulty that they can create for others. Now this would be, again, a massive D person. You've got to realize all of us are a combination of all these things. None of us are all of this or all of that. We're a little of this, we're a little of that, but this is where we're most dominant, okay? I, influence. Okay, you are sociable, trusting, cheerful, smooth, spontaneous, inducing, warm-hearted, convincing, outspoken, animated, spirited, eager, partisan, political, engaging, attracting, influencing, exciting, effusive, manipulative. And the people that drive you crazy are the ones that are precise, methodical, orderly, evasive, fussy, and fretful. Like it would drive this here would drive my wife nuts that I drew this. How could you possibly do that? And you see what's wrong with it?
Not a
What?
perfect circle.
It's not a perfect circle.
Well, that wouldn't drive us crazy. And this is just how I am because my brain works this way. It doesn't really care.
Some are capital and some
Capital
are...
letters small. Why would you do that? You know? I'll type something else and spell a word twice, 2 different ways on the same page. How can you do that? Well, it's just typing. It came out. So would I make a good court reporter?
No.
No, Jeff. Stay away. Stay far away. Okay. So let's see. The more dominant the I tendencies in one's temperament, the more these traits will be observed. A mental image may help you remember these characteristic traits for the I is a firecracker. And that reminds us that they are almost always ready for a good time, so it may be harder for them to concentrate on the task at hand. Most times you will find them fun to deal with, but sometimes it can get a little out of hand. A caution for I types: as the star of the show, you can be very entertaining, but you can also be loud and disruptive. So don't explode at the wrong time. Understand that I types live from emotional peak to emotional peak and do not spend much time in the valleys. They do not understand the difficulty that this can create for others. You know people like that? Boom, boom, boom. All right, great, let's go. Wow, party. Is that like every college kid ever? All right, so S, steadiness. All right, so steadiness, the basic type can be associated with calm, dependable, constant, deliberate, invariable, established, predictable, routine, possessive, territorial, composed, supportive, submissive, yielding, introverted. Stay away from those D's. Indifferent, withdrawn, resistant to change, passive, and apathetic. People that drive them crazy: assertive, insistent, headstrong, competitive, self-centered, and oppressive. So again, stay away from the D's. The mental image with the S, a safety pin, reminds us that they can be counted on to help. That steady person, they're going to be there when you need them. Yeah. Who do you think could help us with that? He can. He's a steady. Right? They find it hard to confront a problem or to speak their true opinion. Most times you will find them reliable to deal with, but they may not discuss their hurt feelings. A caution for S-types: in your eagerness to help others, learn to ask, what part of no don't you understand? I think that's the biggest problem a lot of us have, is not being able to say no. Just, no. Can you do that for me? No. What do you mean no? I can't. I had one woman, and what she used to do is, on her calendar every day, she would just take a pen and fill in a time for herself. But she'd put somebody's name there. No. Jackie Jones, 3:30 to 4 o'clock. Tom Johnson, 2:15, 2:30 the next day. And that was on her calendar, and she would not be disturbed for it. That was her time that she did. They go, I really need to talk to you. No, I have an appointment at this time. Can you see that? Oh yeah, okay, I'll call you back. Or how many of you work out of a home office? And how many have friends, families, and neighbors that go, oh, well, you're at home all day. Could you do me a favor? I actually would have my neighbors who both worked big power jobs. My wife and I busy all day long, work at the house. Robert and I want to go out and run. Could you watch Andy for us? When would you like us to do that? Well, now. Well, it's the middle of the workday. Yeah, but you guys, you're just at home. Is that okay? And like, Andy's not one of those kids you just leave. When you watch Andy, you watch Andy. You're following him around the house. There's one of the kids used to crawl up the door frames of my house and hang upside down. Or we had a deck outside. You'd look for him. He'd be shinnying down the deck, 20 feet up in the air. And It's funny, years later, she had to work at home and had the kids there. She goes, oh my God, you can't believe how annoying they are. That makes a difference. You know exactly where you're coming from. So a caution for S-types is your eagerness to help others. In your eagerness to help others, learn to ask what part of no you don't understand, and working alongside others, pick up the pace and ask yourself, what part of now don't I understand? Right? Like my oldest daughter does not understand now. Say, could you empty the dishwasher now? I'll get to it. Well, it doesn't do us any good if you get to it like tomorrow. We need it now. I'll get to it. I'll get to it. I mean, I have kids like that.
She's like, is she 14?
She's like 25.
Oh.
Yeah, my wife and I thought we were empty nesters, and she was living with 3 other girls, or 2 other girls, and landlord jacked up the rent $500. We get a call, I need to move back home for a while. Well, we don't really need you to, but we don't have those same feelings. Mom and I kind of looking for this empty nester thing. Let's see. Okay, so C's. You know who you are? You are balanced, impartial, candid, tactful, precise, correct, perceptive, methodical, orderly, fastidious, exacting, traditional, orthodox, cautious, conscientious, calculating, shrewd, fussy, fretful, and evasive. And the people that drive you crazy, cause you stress, are the ones that are spontaneous. Let's go do it now. We didn't plan, but let's just go do it. But we need to plan. We need to call. 5 minutes, let's go. Outspoken people, effusive people, and manipulative. Again, all those really cause you stress. So a mental image that may help you remember is the magnifying glass. It reminds us that the attention they give to detail and accuracy, they tend to be perfectionists. They value long-term opportunity over short-term gain, and they tend to hold themselves and you in very high standards. Sound like anybody you know? A caution for C-types, not everything in life can be calculated logically. As Pascal said, the heart has its reason, which reason cannot understand. Like all your children's boyfriends and girlfriends. Right? All right, so if you look at the circle here, basically, and this is, if you get out all the stuff that Anita's learning now, that she's paying thousands of dollars learning and understanding everything, it comes down to very simple situation. People are either faster oriented, slower oriented, task oriented, or people oriented. Okay, does that make sense? So you can be a faster task-oriented person, or you could be a faster people-oriented person. So just think of this as a steering wheel, that you tend to go more task-oriented, or you're more people-oriented. Now you can be people-oriented and be slow, or you can be a faster person that's people-oriented too. All right, so are you more fast-paced, pedal to the metal? Are you outgoing? Do you speak with energy? Or are you slower-paced, more ride the brake? Are you reserved? Do you speak less forcefully? All right, think of your priority as the steering wheel, which we talked about. Okay, is your direction more towards people? Are you more of a joiner than a loner? Task-oriented would be more of a loner than a joiner. Make sense? Okay. And at the risk of oversimplification, the great majority of the world's population can be said to be either predominantly fast-paced, task-oriented, fast-paced, people-oriented, slower-paced, people-oriented, or slower-paced, task-oriented. Just about everybody falls in that area. So if you plotted where you were, you would see that you were like, I'm going to add one more thing to this to help you understand. So this is D, I, C, and S. So let's say you were a very high D, right? So you're way up here on the D. The I, you're kind of down here. The C, let's say, you know, you're halfway here, the S, you're all the way down at the bottom. So your dominant thing is the D here, and you're, you know, a faster task-oriented person, you know, or you're a faster people-oriented person. You know, where do you fall on that chain? Do you see yourselves in this? Could you say, yes, I'm definitely more of a people-oriented person? And does your chart match that? How many people just felt like their chart totally wasn't them? Like somebody else filled it out? Okay, good. So this really does work. All right, so let me just go through this for you real quick. So the purpose of this information is not to label other people, but to understand them more, understand them by adapting and adjusting ourselves to work more efficiently with them. So if you took this home and gave it to your family members to do and stuff, you could see where they were on the chart and go, oh, I can understand why she reacts this way when I do this, because this is where her greatest, you know, influence is at, where her dominance is at. So understanding your personality style helps you identify and resolve conflict and stress in your life, improve teamwork and performance, while teaching you how to recharge your batteries and maintain motivation. Again, understanding what are the things that do recharge your battery in life, what are the things that get you motivated. Many of us spend so much time adapting and adjusting that we do not truly understand how we are put together in the first place. We become accustomed to working and relating under pressure, and we do not understand that life and relationships can be improved. All right, so, and again, just real quick, understanding your stressors, fast-paced, task-oriented people. All right? Why do some situations put you over the edge while they don't affect other people the same way? It's going to come as a relief to know that it is not because everybody else is more mature than you are. You're not just a big kid while everyone else is a real grown-up. A study of human behavior shows there are 4 basic personality types that determine where we fit and how we work in the world. It's stressful to dig through psychobabble, so this is why he's basically simplified it down to this. And we've already talked about that. It's the task-oriented people, the fast-oriented and stuff. I'm going to just go real quick. The fast-paced, task-oriented, focus energy on the task, reaching the goal. They love to be rewarded. I love to be rewarded. I do. For personal accomplishments, getting things done. What stresses them out are the irresponsible, undecisive, passive, apathetic people. So these people are fast-paced too, but they are more people-oriented. This is the fast-paced people. They tend to focus their energy on relationships more than achievements. They really want to be liked, to have many friends and lots of social involvement. They're usually quick to laugh, and people see them as the life of the party. Folks call them optimists because they have never met a stranger and are usually cheerful. What stresses them out is when others shut them out or seem too strict and stern. They tend to see the world as a happy place that needs to be celebrated. They can be impulsive and emotional. Logic is not their strength, but they can be persuasive and imaginative. People say they know everyone and can talk to anybody about or talk anybody into anything. They try to make work into a game. As possibility people, you stress them out when you weigh them down with repetitive tasks or isolate them from others. Keep conversations informal and encouraging, and they will be your friend. Slow-paced, people-oriented. These people are slower paced. They want to take their time, whether they are doing work or making a decision. They don't want to be in charge because they feel they do better helping and supporting. I'm like that. I'm on a bunch of different committees. Do I want to run one of them? No. I've never wanted to be the president of the Speakers Association in town. I've never wanted to be the head of anything, but I like to work. I like to help out. We do service projects. I don't want to plan it. I don't want to run it, but I'll be there to feed people. I'll be there to paint something, you know, whatever. These people-oriented, but prefer to have a few solid relationships. They are more private about their lives, thoughts, and emotions. Loyalty is very important to them. What really stresses them out is change and loss of stability. They tend to be very practical and prefer doing things the way they've always been done. My wife's like that. Even though this is kind of like me, that's not like me. I always like change. Let's try something new. I'm tired of doing it like that. Figure out something new. They tend to see the world as a friendly place where people need to be included. Their feelings often outweigh their logic because they are sensitive to others and are themselves easily hurt. They try to bring peace and harmony. As caretakers, they feel guilty when they say no and resent being put under pressure or rushed. Be warm, unhurried, and sincere, and they will respond to you the same way. And slow-paced, task-oriented. These people are slower-paced, very task-oriented, tend to focus their energy on processes and details. Their lives center on quality information, and things have to make sense or they start worrying. They tend to ask difficult questions and double-check everything, so others may see them as critical or pessimistic because they usually expect and plan for things to go wrong. What stresses them out is when people are unrealistic or fail to plan well. They dislike shallowness and vagueness, expect perfection in themselves and others. So, I'm going to read these real quick. This is what can help you out. If you're an FPTO, what does that mean? Fast-paced, task-oriented person. Find yourself a new challenge. Something to work at, believe in, seek physical exertion and healthy competition, set goals, and reward personal accomplishment. About FPPO. Fast-paced, people-oriented. Spend time with people doing fun things. One thing I gotta tell you too, you want to reduce stress in your life? Hang around with fun people. You know? I got rid of all the depressing people in my life. I mean, I have one or two people that I consider my charity cases. And you know who those people are, don't you? Because you see their caller ID, and my wife and I go, oh my God, don't pick it up. You'll be there for an hour, you'll be there for 45 minutes, you know. So that's a decision you make. What I usually do, I got in the habit of picking up the phone when I do that. Hey, I'm running out the door, what can I do for you? You've already set a boundary. I'm running out the door, I'm late to pick up Gianna. What you need? Can I call you back later? What, is there something just real quick you can tell me now? No? Okay. Boy, you'll pick up that phone when they call back later. But there's some people that I know that just really need to talk, and those are people I'll spend an hour, 45 minutes with sometimes on the phone. They need somebody to cheer them up, get them laughing. It's like I remember my buddy Al one time, he talked about a tough survivor. This guy's beat cancer 3 different times. He's a comedian. He's on stage in North Carolina, or South Carolina, like it matters, right? Like, that'd be exact. What if they check, right? Right, doesn't our brains work like that?
Let me Google that.
Look at that. What was the date of that show? Yes, I don't think so. So Al's on stage, and he has like we call a killer set, you know, in comedy, when everybody laughs, you do great, you slayed the room, you killed, destroyed. Of course, when you do bad, you also bomb. So it doesn't make sense. So he had this great set. He says he's walking off stage. This guy stands up and says, I just got to tell you, you're the funniest guy I ever saw in my life. I've never laughed so hard. Just wanted to thank you. Shakes Al's hand. And Al goes to walk away, decides to say something else to the guy, turns around, the guy had fallen over dead. Basically shaked his hand, had a massive heart attack, and died. And I was going, oh my God, I killed him.
Oh my God.
And he said that his laughter killed him. And he is totally depressed. And he calls me up, and I'm like, oh, I just can't, I got to get him out of this somehow. So I'm just listening to him. And he's going on, and we're into this for about 45 minutes, and I'm going, you know, Al, you didn't kill the guy. You know, he had this critical event that just went, or this event that just went critical when your paths crossed. You had nothing to do with it. And then I'm slowly trying to get him out of it. I'm going, you know, just think of it this way. You know, you guys gave this guy his best night of laughter before he died. What a great gift. Wouldn't you like to go out laughing? Right? As opposed to like in front of a truck going, I think laughter would be a good way to go, okay? So finally, after a while, he's coming around. He goes, you know, enough about me. I'm sick of talking about me. He goes, how you been doing? I've been hearing some good things about you on the road. How's it going? I said, well, I'm not killing. And just dead silence, and then dead silence on his phone. going, did I go too far?
Yes.
And it was about 3 or 4 seconds, and he just explodes with laughing. And I mean, like, from his toes all the way through his body. He's just shaking, laughing, and we both start laughing, and we start making up all these different sick press releases for him and stuff. You know, comedian kills again. You know, cops got, you know, all this stuff. And by the time he's finished, he goes, you know, I feel like I can go on now. Thank you. I just needed that to get me out of that and get the laughter started. Bill Cosby would say that no matter what the tragic event in your life, once you can find the humor in it, you can get over it. And this is a guy who said this after his son died. Right? Robin Williams, years ago, when Christopher
Reeve.
when he had the horse accident, he shows up at the hospital. They were college roommates, and he promised him he'd always be there for him. And here's Ree is strapped to this board there. He looks up and here's this doctor, and he's got this mask all weird on his face and these weird glasses on, his hat's on wrong. He's doing all this stupid stuff. He says, I finally found myself laughing. And once he started laughing, Robin took off the mask. And he realized once the laughter started, yes.
You know, just because you brought that up, I just heard with, you know, Joan Rivers passing away. There had a little blurb about when her husband committed suicide. Now that had to be the
Edgar?
worst, right?
Yeah.
Worst day for her and the daughter. That night, her and the daughter went out to dinner at some fancy restaurant in New York or wherever they were. And she turned to the daughter. They're looking at the menu, and she said, "You know what? If Daddy was here, he'd kill himself again with these prices." That was like the same day he killed himself.
But you know, did they start laughing? As he saw these prices, he'd kill himself again. When my dad passed away, my mom took the 3 boys out to dinner, and we all were very solemn when we started. And by the time we were finished, we were ready to throw us out. We were laughing so hard, thinking about all the fun, stupid stuff that Dad used to do, and that, you know, all the sayings that he had and stuff, and we just laughed. And he died a few days before that, you know, because you got to find that laughter. The healing starts when the laughter begins. Matter of fact, Christopher Reeve, who was in Atlanta doing a big presentation, you know, where they have all these super speakers come at one time, and this reporter's interviewing him, trying to be very serious about it and everything, and looks at him and says, you know, Mr. Reeves, I got to ask you, you know, you had this great career going, you've had this horrible accident, it looks like you may be confined to this motorized wheelchair for the rest of your life. He says, I got to ask you, what keeps you going? And Chris goes, batteries. And the guy starts laughing. I'm thinking, here's a guy in a situation, hopefully worse than I ever found myself in, and he can still find the humor. You know, he can still find the laughter in it. One humorist I know, his wife had cancer. She went through chemotherapy, lost all her hair, started going into remission. Her hair started growing back. It started getting a little longer, and she looks and she goes, I don't know whether to get a haircut or more chemo. And he's going, my God, you can still find the humor in that. So, again, it's such a powerful healing process when you can find the laughter in things. All right, so SPTO, lower. People task-oriented. Is that right? Slow people aren't here. Little. Okay, I'm getting crazy too. 10 hours is a long day. Make quiet time to be alone with your thoughts, read a mystery, or work on a puzzle, indulge in a hobby, or organize something that is out of order. And last but not least, SPPO, talk to a friend instead of stuffing your feelings. Seek passive rest or sleep, take a hot bath, light some candles, listen to some music. You know, these are things that you can do to recharge your batteries. There's no right or wrong to any of these things. It's just different. We're all different in different ways, okay? And let's see, anything else here? All right, and just the last part of this is we all want to feel safe. The faster-paced, task-oriented people, their types feel safe when they take control and are in charge. The faster-paced, people-oriented types feel safe when they have influence, can talk us into doing things their way. The slower-paced, people-oriented types feel safe when everyone gets along, So they help everyone, and the slower paced, task-oriented types feel safe when there is structure and order, so they are organized. So we all want control and somehow, and just, like I say, I'll email a lot of this stuff to y'all. You can have it at home and everything, but basically it's just being aware of these things, understanding who you are, and things that drive you crazy, understanding when things start happening like that, oh, but I'm getting stressed out because of me, how I feel about this. I was telling people years ago that I found most of the time when I'm angry at somebody else, I'm really angry at myself. You know, my daughter's procrastinating. Why didn't you get that done? Well, I'm a procrastinator, you know? Like I say, we teach best what we need most to know about ourselves. Usually it's something wrong with me at the time. If I'm upset with my wife, I'm thinking, why am I so angry with her? I love her. I married her. I'm spending my whole life with her. You know, what is it about me and my life, what I'm doing right now, that's making me upset about this? And usually when I stop and do that, I realize it's something with me. Something I'm not done, I'm not taking care of, I haven't worked on, something I'm doing that I shouldn't be doing or whatever. And that's what's causing it. It's not that person, it's a me. So look inside first, find it, see if you can find the reason for your feelings like that. It really shouldn't be there. And understand why people are like they are. Okay? Did you enjoy the program?
Yes.
Yep. All right! Okay, long 10-hour day, but it's done, and you have your credits for another 2 years. All right, so like I said, we are going to be changing the programs. So, it's, and Anita has promised to be part of our programs here in Illinois. So, if you loved her and Carrie, please come and please tell your friends about it. Okay, other court reporters. And I have the. Do you all want your letters?
Yeah.
Sure. Well, matter of fact, if somebody help me here, I can get these letters even quicker. We also have some cookies left over in the back. Take one on the way out if you like one. Who would like to help hand out letters? Get people out of here fast. Okay, come on up here.
Yeah, well, we did the NCRA or do we send those?
Okay, if you would go in the back. Okay. All right, so if your name begins with A or A through Good. For Cynthia Good, so I think I have to change hers. She's going to tell me about that. So Sam through Cynthia Good, go in the back, over here, surround her, wait till everybody gets back there, and then just alphabetically call out the names. Everybody else from Rosemary Jucanis, come on up here.
Take care. It was so nice meeting you. Yeah, I'm sure I'll see you around.
Okay. So everybody who's from Jucanis up to Zuzawoski, come on up here. There were two people that didn't sign in, Marlene King and whoever the other person was, so just sign those before you go. Marlene, where you at? Oh, you did sign this? Okay, good. You got it. Okay, everybody signed in. Okay.
What is it?
So Marlene, here you go. I'll give it to you. Krukowski.
G to Z.
Joyce Krukowski.
Right here.
Okay. She was trying to be you.
I was.
You know what? Let me just move this out of here with everybody walking back and forth. Why take any chances? Here we go. I just got to stick this back here.